start the event with the invocation song followed by the SRIHER anthem.
सुधा कुंभ विबोध मुद्रा विद्या विराजित करवारी जाता विद्या विराजित करवारी जाता अपार कारुण्य सुधांबुराही श्री शारदांब प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम् श्री शारदांब प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्
செந்தமிழைப் போல என்றென்றும் வாழும் ஸ்ரீ ராமச்சந்திரா என் தாயன எண்ணி உன்னை வணங்கிய பாடுகின்றோம் நாங்கள் கற்ற கல்வி பெற்ற பெருமை எங்களுடைய தந்தது ஒட்டு தொடரும் சொந்தம் இதுதான் ராமச்சந்திரா சொன்னது அன்னை தந்தை போலே எண்ணம் எல்லாம் நின்றது நண்பன் சுற்றமெல்லாம் இங்குதானே கண்டது வாழ்த்தி நின்றோம் வணங்குகின்றோம் வாழ வைத்த மையமே கூடி நின்றோம் பாடுகின்றோம் வானம் எங்கள் எல்லையே உலகம் போற்றும் திறமையாலே இன்று இங்கு முதலிடம் உயிரை காக்கும் உணர்வுதானே ஒன்று சேர்த்த ரகசியம் ஆய்வு செய்தோம் சேவை செய்தோம் எதிலும் கண்டோம் மனிதமே ஆய்வு செய்வோம் சேவை செய்வோம் தொடரும் எங்கள் பயணமே ஸ்ரீ ராமச்சந்திரா வாழ்கவே.
May I now invite Dr. A. Jalad Suresh, Principal, Sri Ramachandra Faculty of Pharmacy, for the welcome address. Please, sir.
Good morning to you all. It is my pride and my privilege to welcome all the participants of today's session, to welcome you all on behalf of the Faculty of Pharmacy, SRIHER. This session is conducted by PHARMAELITE and Sri Ramachandra Faculty of Pharmacy. This session, I understand, is going to be conducted by young people who have gone through the mill, who have gone through the process like most of the people who have come on for this webinar. They have cleared very successfully the GPAT examinations and the examinations which are entrance exams to the NIPER. Today, it's my pleasure to welcome all of you, the persons who are going to conduct today's course, Mr. Sancheti of PHARMAELITE and the participants from 34 different educational institutions, a total of 564 participants spread across Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Maharashtra. Welcome you all. It is our endeavor at SRIHER to continuously focus on education, to improve the standards and to broadcast education even beyond the boundaries of SRIHER. As a result of this endeavor, we have been conducting several workshops, lectures, and webinars, and this is one such. I wish and hope that all the participants will have a very engaging session and it will be fruitful and this will be reflected in the results of the coming GPAT examination. Wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now it's time to know about our speaker for today's event. He is Mr. Samkit Sancheti, a GPAT and NIPER alumni of 2022. To say few words about him, he is a young performer in the pharma profession. He finished his UG in B Pharmacy last year in Savitribai University, Pune. He got qualified in GPAT with All India ranking of 1404, as well as NIPER qualified in August 2022 in a national level examination. Some of his achievements: he became a winner in technical writing in IPA Association Nasik branch, and he was the best student of his college in 2019. He gave many number of presentations. He received Kala Gaurav Award in the year 2013. Without any further delay, may I now request Mr. Samkit Sancheti to take over the long awaiting session for today. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for the warm welcome. Yes, I'd like to thank all the respected faculty members on behalf of PHARMAELITE for giving us an opportunity. It's because of you guys we are able to communicate with the budding pharmacist of our field, right? So big thank to you, and I'll be starting the session. So am I good to go, ma'am?
Yeah,
With your
sure.
permission. Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. So, hello everyone. As you know that I am not a old one to talk to you, so I don't want this session to be a single way session. Okay. So I request you guys, if you are having any doubt regarding any of my points which I am going to tell you, you can just let me know in the comment section itself. Okay. Is my screen visible? Is my screen visible? Can anyone just give me a confirmation, please? Hello. Shall I start? I just need a confirmation. Hello, ma'am. I'm just waiting for someone's response so that I can start. Is the screen visible? Am I audible clearly? Shall I proceed? Hello? Hello? Okay. Can anyone just let me know in the comment section? Okay, thank you. Actually, the comments weren't visible to me. Thank you very much. So yes, we are good to go. So I believe that all the students from final year, from first year to final year, are watching this session. Anyone from first year can just hit me in the comment section, please. First, second, third, final year. Okay, thank you. Yep. So let's start the session. So look, guys, I'll be telling to you from the very basics of the GPAT till the lengthiest part of the presentation. Okay. So I just want you guys to stay tuned throughout the session. In case you're feeling annoyed or anything is upsetting, you can just let me know in the comment section, and there itself I'll be like solving that issue. Okay. So to begin with, I guess I'm considering that we are aware of what GPAT is, right? Let's start. So, what's the full form of GPAT? For first year students who have recently got admitted to our colleges, the full form of GPAT is Graduate Pharmacy Aptitude Test. So, basically, this test is going to be the decider for your master's admission. The score of the test is going to is going to fetch you in a good reputed college, and based on that, you're going to make your name in the industry. Okay. So this exam is of at most important if you are planning for your masters, because ultimately the score of this examination is going to decide whether you will be capable of entering into a good reputed masters college or not. Now this is about GPAT. Now many of you are like familiar with the term NIPER, but I think that the first year, the young ones are not fully aware of what NIPER is. So you can consider NIPER as the IIT level institute. For engineering, we have IITs, right? So for pharma, we have NIPER. Now the full form of NIPER I'll be revealing soon. So you have to stay tuned for that part too. But yes, in case you want to go to NIPER, the first and foremost requirement of the examination, qualifying NIPER or entering the first and foremost requirement for NIPER is you have to clear GPAT examination. Unless you don't clear GPAT examination, you won't be eligible for NIPER. So yes, you have to clear GPAT and then you are eligible for NIPER only. So I'll be sharing some statistics in the coming slides. But before that, I'd like to tell our journey, what PharmaElite was, how it was founded, when it was founded. So yes, our team PharmaElite, it was founded in the year 2017. Okay.
Hello students, wait for 1 minute. Due to some network issue, sir had disconnected. He'll be coming within 1 to 2 minutes.
Yeah, hello. Am I audible now? I'm sorry for the technical glitch. I failed a error there. I didn't know what happened, but thank you for letting me know in the comment section, guys. Thank you. Sorry, sorry. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you're audible. No problem. You continue,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am.
Yeah, you're audible.
Thank you.
Good.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
was
you
a technical
continue.
glitch from my end. Thank you. Yeah, thank you
No
very much.
problem, sir.
So, guys, I was
Now,
talking about yep. I was talking about our journey at PharmaElite. So we started our institute in the year 2017, and believe me, we had that aim to save the time of the examination seekers. For instance, we require something like we require 20 hours to study a single concept. For instance, okay. So our prime responsibility was to convert these 20 hours into 2 hours, and which we successfully achieved in the 1 year which we invested in collecting resources, and that was evident by the result of the 2020 results of NIPER. We were able to face NIPER All India Rank 1 in the year 2020. So you can see in just 1.5 years, we were able to achieve the milestone of NIPER All India Rank 1. So yes, this is possible only when we are consistent with our ways, and we are consistent throughout. Okay. Now, guys, these are some glimpses of our previous year result. You can clearly see that this is GPAT, this is NIPERS, this is MET is Manipal. Okay. For Manipal Institute, if you're planning, then Manipal is also a highly reputed institute. And then ICT is other easy examination, and ICT is one of the most reputed college in the Maharashtra. Okay, so it's located in Mumbai, but yes, it has some outstanding faculties therein. And these are our previous year NIPER result. And one of the most interesting fact about PharmaElite is that if you're aware about NIPERs, there are 7 NIPER in the country, and the best one in the country, the best institute for pharma studies in the country is NIPER Mohali. And the 10% crowd of NIPER Mohali, they belong to PharmaElite. They belong to PharmaElite. 10% of the NIPER Mohalians, they come from PharmaElite. And yes, these are our previous year result. So starting with the presentation, guys, I hope the screen is visible. Yes. So as you can see on the screen, before that, I want to ask you some questions regarding GPAT. So can anyone just let me know what is the maximum marks one can get in GPAT? What is the total number of marks one can get in GPAT? Anyone? What is the maximum marks one can get into GPAT? Can anyone just let me know in the comment section, guys? Look, I just want this session to be a two-way session, so I'm just waiting for responses as well. So basically, till then, I'm just waiting for your comments. And one of the most benefits that if you clear this examination, uh, it's not 300 actually, but the total marks for GPAT is 500. Okay, there are 125 questions in GPAT. Each question carries 4 marks. Okay, each question carries 4 marks. The total is 500 marks. So the GPAT examination is of 500 marks. Is this clear? Yep, thank you. I can see some of you getting the right answer. And another benefit of clearing this examination is that Government of India is going to provide you a tentative stipend. Okay, and the stipend is of 12,400 rupees per month. Okay, so for your if you take admissions into your masters after clearing the examination, you are eligible to face this stipend from Government of India, and ultimately you will get around the lump sum amount will be around 3 lakh rupees in 2 years of your masters. So this is the monetary benefit of the examination. And now something more about the examination. If you look at our teacher, they might have given the examination was earlier known as gate. There was no as such examination for pharma. Initially, the examination was GATE, but then it got converted to GPAT for pharmacy. Okay. And most importantly, before 2018, before 2018, this examination was conducted by AICTE. Have you heard about this? What is AICTE, guys? Just let me know, okay? So prior to 2018, the examination was conducted by AICTE, and after 2018 onwards, the examination is conducted by NTA. NTA is National Testing Agency. So this is the same agency which is responsible for taking the NEET examinations, JEE examinations in the country. Okay. Now, from the moment when NTA came into the picture, guys, we have observed a change in patterns. The monotonous pattern of examination was broken, and NTA, they are focusing more on basics rather than asking you some difficult concepts. Okay, so the more you get your basics clear, the higher the chances of clearing the GPAT examination. Okay, so guys, when I'm talking about the previous year statistics, okay, in the year 2022, there were nearly 53,300 students who actually filled up form for examination. That is, they have registered for the examination. Okay, 53,300 students nearly they registered for the examination, out of which on the day of examination only 50,500 students they reached and appeared for the examination. Okay, and most shockingly, not even 10% of the students they got qualified for the examination. Okay, not even 10%, it is actually somewhere near to 7.5%. Only 7.5% students they got qualified for the examination. Okay, so it doesn't mean that GPAT is an hard nut to crack. GPAT is an hard examination. I'll keep on repeating the same. If you are having your basics clear, if your basics are clear, then GPAT is for you guys. Okay, and remember one more thing, that don't always go behind the CGPAs. Like if you're aiming for a good CGPA, that's good only for your college level, but at national level GPAT is going to reflect what are your capabilities. Okay, so moving on to the next part, guys, we all know that who this personality is. Can anyone just let me know who is this personality in the slide? He's the god of cricket, obviously. Can anyone just let me know who is this? Can anyone just let me know who is this? Anyone in the comment section? I'm just waiting for responses, guys. Are you attending the lecture or you're joining for the sake of attendance? Is it? Can anyone in the comment section just let me know who the personality in the slide is? Like he's the god of cricket. Yes, he is Sachin Tendulkar, right? So, guys, until 2010, nobody has ever imagined that any batsman in the world can score a double hundred in a ODI match, in a single day limited match, right? No one has ever imagined that one can score a double hundred in that match. But yes, he for the first time set that standard, and then followed by him we had Virendra Sehwag in the year 2012-13, I guess, and then we had Rohit Sharma, who not only one time but three times he was able to get to that mark. And recently, two other Indian batsmen have scored that too. The point of telling you this is, guys, we all know that GPAT examination is of 500 marks. Now look at this part, okay? GPAT examination is of GPAT examination is of 500 marks, okay? Now, if I ask you, what are you guys aiming for? If you're planning to give your GPAT examination, what is your aim? Like, what do you think, how much marks you can fetch in the examination? Just let me know, okay? Anyone? Kishore, Divya, Ranjit, Senthil, Abdullah, Lalit, Kumar, Vignesh, anyone can just let me know, okay? What's your aim? If you're planning to give GPAT this year, what are you aiming for? I just wanted to know the score that you are expecting from yourself. Can anyone just let me know? I'm just waiting for your comments, guys. Be quick. I purposely showed you this slide, okay? Now I just wanted to know the aim that you're aiming for. Like, what are your expectations from yourself? Can anyone just let me know? Anyone? Look, I told you that GPAT examination is of 500 marks. Okay. I like the spirit. Pranay says he's aiming for 500. Anyone else? Senthil says, but I'm already qualified, sir, but the mark is very low. So you gave your examination in the third year, is it, Senthil? Okay, Divya says above 450. Now, the point is, this is where we go wrong. Look, guys, if someone asks you what are you aiming for, just straight away tell them that, sir, I am aiming for 500 marks. If you are aiming for the sky, then the whole sky is open for you, right? So the point is, if you're aiming for 500, you'll somewhere, if you don't get 500, you'll be getting at least 450. Then also your rank will be all India rank 1. Believe me. Now some says above 350, some says 400 is enough. But guys, just aim for 500. If you are aiming for the highest mark, you, if not, you don't get that. If you don't achieve that mark as well, you'll be landing up somewhere near 400, 450. But then believe me, then also you will be all India rank 1. Now, for your information, guys, no one is able to cross the setback of 361. Like 361 is the highest score in the history of GPAT. 361 is the highest score in the history of GPAT. Okay, nobody has ever gone above this benchmark. So the point is, if you are aiming for 500, will ultimately land somewhere near 400, 450, right? So still you will be all India rank 1. So the point is, now you understand why I have showcased this slide. Okay. Now, guys, I have been delivering seminars all over the country. I have delivered seminars in more than 50 colleges across the country. Okay, so these are some common questions that the students have. Now, which books to be referred for GPAT examination? Now, guys, this is a very common question. Now, I want you guys to be very honest with me. Okay, don't like think that anyone is like here to judge you, but just give some honest answers to me. Okay, which books do you refer for GPAT? If you are preparing for GPAT, which book do you refer? Chalo, I'll make it more simpler. You are having HEP 1, the first year students and the final year students. You guys have studied HEP, right? HEP was there in the semester 1, right? Human anatomy and physiology, right? So, which book did you refer for HEP? Or for like HEP is one subject. For ecology, pharmacology, third year students, second year students. Which book did you use for ecology? Can anyone just let me know? Can anyone just let me know in the comment section? Then which book did you use for biochemistry? For biochemistry, which book did you use? Sharma for which book? Sharma, HL Sharma. You're talking about HL Sharma, is it? Which book did you use for HAP? KD Tripathi for pharmacology. Okay, so KD Tripathi is the Bible. Okay, KD Tripathi is the Bible for ecology. So I recommend you all that you must and must only refer KD Tripathi for ecology. That's it. Then for HAP, which book did you refer? Was it Nirali? Was it PV? Was it Thakur publication? Was it career publication? Anyone? Okay, Satyanarayana is for biochemistry. That's the standard books. So, which books do we have to refer? We have to refer only standard books. Now, why I'm like preferring standard books over all other books is that the intensity of the knowledge which the standard books they provide, it is going to define your like rankings in the GPAT. Okay. Ross and Wilson is again a good book for HAP. Yes, Ross and Wilson is one book, and the other book is Tortora. Ross and Wilson and Tortora are just the books for HAP. Okay, if you guys are referring these books, then you are up to mark. Okay, but if you guys are referring those filthy books like PV then Nirali publication, then Career publication, and all other Thakur publication books, then please stop using that books, because these books, they won't help you get into GPAT. Okay. And now, why I am telling you that why we should use the standard books is that, before that, just answer my one more question. Which book do you use for physical pharmacy? For physical pharmacy, which book did you refer? Which book did you refer for physical pharmacy? Symbol, then any other? Look, guys, those who are using PV, that book is going to help you only for your semester purpose, but that book is not going to help you for your GPAT. Okay, ultimately, if you're like planning for GPAT, then you have to study from standard books, because if you're referring standard books, believe me, you will easily, without any preparation, external preparation, you can clear this examination. Okay. So for those who have like answered Martin, yes, Martin is the right answer for physical pharmacy. And believe me, if you are referring these books as of now, then you are having a higher chances of qualification. Okay. Now, why I like asked you this question was that in the year 2017, there was one numerical which was as it is extracted from the book Martin, and it was there in the NIPERs, in the GPAT 2017 paper. You can just go and cross check it there. There was a numerical from Martin as it is. The values were also same. So we all know that the examiner, the paper setter, they use these standard books as well for your like for framing the questions. So why not use these standard books? Okay, am I clear with this part? So we have, for GPAT, we have to refer only standard books, only standard reference books, no PV publication, please. For your for your semester, PV is okay, but the intensity, look, there's one thing, that if you study in depth, then the examiner doesn't have anything else left to ask. Okay, so you can answer any questions which is thrown to a plate, right? Now, what numbers of questions to be attempted? What numbers of questions to be attempted? What do you think, guys? What numbers of questions to be attempted? There are 500 questions in GPAT. Now, what numbers of questions to be attempted? What numbers of questions to be attempted? We know that there are total of 125 questions in GPAT. Okay. Okay, if you're aiming for All India rank 1, and if you're if you attempt 80 plus question out of 125, then you can increase your chances of getting like at least qualified. Okay. And always remember, guys, at the end of the session, I'll be providing you a trick to like use in the GPAT, and that can, for sure 100%, I'm 100% sure that can help you get good marks in GPAT. So that is a calculative trick, so I want you guys to stay tuned till then. Okay. So guys, for an average individual, you have to attempt at least 80 questions. Okay. Now, yes, there's a difference in preparation for your GPAT and semester. Now look at this, guys. Okay. In semester, they are going to ask you like about on SAR. Now, what is SAR? Structure activity relationship. They are going to ask you this question for 5 marks. They are going to ask you, you can draw the structure, you have to explain it in detail. But in GPAT, they are not going to ask you this part. They'll straight away ask you questions on the point of differences. So you don't have to prepare in depth for your GPAT examination. Rather, you, if you just stick to your basics, if your basic concepts are clear, then believe me, you can easily clear GPAT examination. Okay. So always remember, they are not going to ask you to draw any structure. They are not going to ask you to draw the like heart and explain the circulatory system in detail. But yes, there are going to be certain questions from circulatory system. For instance, there was the one question in the year 2019 wherein they asked what was the unit of the heartbeat. What is the unit of heartbeat? Like heartbeats is measured in. Okay, this was one of the question which was there in 2019. Ultimately, and one more thing, I'm requesting you guys to switch to the live part of the session. You can just make sure that the red part, which is at the end of the your slide, you can just drag it to the extreme right end, and you can just switch it to the live part. I guess some of you are lagging behind. Okay, now there's a difference in preparation for GPAT and semester. Okay, in semester you don't have to like in semester you have to study everything in detail, but in GPAT there are certain things that are required apart from your semester. Okay, now how many question paper to be practiced, guys? We are not preparing for UPSC examination. We are not preparing for UPSC. Okay, so GPAT and UPSC, it is like UPSC is way much tougher than GPAT. GPAT is an beginner's examination. Okay, so for GPAT, just if you're practicing one question paper in 2 days, for instance, if you're like investing 48 hours, can take 48 hours and solve one question paper in 48 hours, provided the terms and condition for this like parameter is that you have to make sure that if you're going anywhere, if you're creating any blunder, if you are doing anything, if you're committing any mistake, so it's your prime responsibility to go and check the right answer there and there itself, and also study other four options. Also study other three options. For instance, there are four options: A, B, C, D. Okay, so the right answer was A, but you marked it as C. Now, it's your job to look at why C is not the right answer and why B is the right answer and why A and B are also incorrect. So, if you study like this and if you just solve one question paper in 48 hours, believe me, you are solving papers equivalent to four question papers. Matlab, if you're solving one question paper and if you're like following this term and conditions, if you're just learning from your mistakes, and if you're studying all the remaining answers which wherein you created the blunders, you are actually solving four other question papers as well. Because look, the questions they can come only many a times. What I have personally seen is that the questions they remain same, but the examiner they just tend to change the MCQs, or they just tend to change the options. They just play with the options, and the questions, the concept, the area, the domain, it always remains the same, but it's just the options that they alter. Okay, so how many hours to study daily? Now, how many hours to study daily? If you're asking me this part, don't study in hours. Okay, don't study in hours, rather study in concepts. For instance, now we are not giving, as mentioned earlier, we are not giving UPSC examination, so we don't have to study for 20 hours daily. Instead, if you are studying for just say about 2 hours daily, just have that target in your mind that I have to finish certain concepts. For instance, I have to finish bronchial asthma today. What is bronchial asthma? I have to just look at its mechanism of action, then I have to look at its treatment. Ultimately, you have to study everything about bronchial asthma in that 2 hours. Okay, so just be consistent. Look, Virat Kohli is known for his consistency. He's like playing very consecutively. Now, in the current Indian team, he's just playing consistently well. Okay, so the consistency is going to matter in your GPAT examination. If you're in first year, if you start preparing for your examination, just be consistent with your semester, the portion which you are like studying as of now. Don't go and study the portion of second year or third year as of now. You guys are in just first year, So what I suggest you guys is that if you are learning something from HEP, make sure that you learn that thing till end. If you're learning that thing till end, then there are high chances that you might end up getting an all India rank 1. Okay. Now, this is the most important slide of my presentation. I request you guys to take a screenshot of it if possible, because in this slide we have just like sorted everything very smoothly, wherein we have divided the numbers of questions versus the area from which they come from. Okay. So, for final year students, if you're starting your preparations as of now, you just have hardly 3 weeks left for your examination, I guess, I suppose. So, for final and third year, if you're starting your preparations as of now, I request you guys to start, you follow this chart and be thorough with this. So, guys, at first, initially, we have to study ecology along with APP, anatomy pathophysiology. Okay, APP is anatomy pathophysiology. You can just increase your quality of the YouTube streaming. If the slide is not clear, make sure that you are watching it in higher resolution. Okay. So this is the most important slide. I'll repeat. You can take a screenshot of the slide here and here itself. Okay. For those who are starting their preparations as of now, so at first you have to start with ecology. Make sure that you don't miss anything out from ecology and APP. Then you can switch to chemistry. Now from chemistry, everything from chemistry is included: organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, and most importantly your medicinal chemistry. Okay, if you study these two subjects very thoroughly, like 100%, if you are going to study this subject giving your 100% effort, then believe me, half of your GPAT syllabus is done. For those, if you are facing problems in the visibility of slide, I request you guys to just switch to the higher resolution of the YouTube streaming, and the slide will be clearly visible. Okay. So guys, just remember this thing. Look, I have like invested more than 2 hours in collecting this data and representing with you, sharing with. Okay, again, someone is saying that the slide is not very clear. Guys, just switch to the higher resolution part. Okay, you can just stream the. You can just change the streaming quality, and the slide will be visible. Or else I can share you the slide with. I can share the slide with you in your WhatsApp group later. Okay. So as of now, just think that you have to just start with your ecology and followed by chemistry. If you guys are done with this, you are nearly done with the 50% of the GPAT portion. Now, if you are asking me, how can you be so sure? Okay, we all love Sutix. Okay, so I'm just keeping Sutix apart. Is it not visible? I'm just checking. Okay, I'll just let me check. Guys, it is visible now. It is clear. Effort, then believe me, half of your GPAT syllabus is done. Okay. When I'm studying when I studied the GPAT paper of 2021, okay, so there were nearly 64 questions from these two domain. 64 questions. Now, guys, you can see the statistics. You can just go and cross check. We all know that GPAT is of 125 marks, 125 questions. Okay, so if the GPAT examination is of 125 questions, out of which 64 questions are just from these two domain, like from ecology and chemistry, you are getting 64 questions in the examination just for the year 2021. Okay, now you can see that it's nearly 50% of your examination, right? So at first you have to give your preference to ecology, then followed by chemistry. After you are done with your chemistry part, then you can switch to Sutix. Now you can honestly tell me that Sutix is the most like favorite subjects of the students pursuing B Pharmacy. Like in every colleges wherein I have delivered sessions or taken lectures, everyone is like telling me that sir, Sutix is our favorite subject. Is it so? Can I consider that Sutix is the favorite subject of everyone, because in Sutix we get to play with the, like, we are involved in making tablets. That is where we feel that yes, we are actually doing something, right? So I have purposely kept Sutix at number 3. Yes, Sutix is obviously very important subject as per as your GPAT is concerned. But yes, Sutix I have purposely kept it at number 3 because I know that Sutix is interesting and you guys can easily understand the concepts from Sutix, right? So this PE is pharmaceutical engineering. Okay, there are certain questions from this part too. If you are studying pharmaceutical engineering, make sure that you study distillation chapter very well and the evaporation chapter very well. Okay, these two chapters from pharmaceutical engineering is the most important part. Okay, then you can think of attempting physical pharmacy and biochemistry. In biochemistry, you have to study all those cycles from Satyanarayana, of course, because there are certain questions. Lately they are asking questions about enzymes. Okay, so you have to study biochemistry thoroughly, and obviously from physical pharmacy, don't forget to study rheology. Okay, rheology is important from this part. Apart from rheology, solubility is also important. Then micromeritics is again an important chapter from physical pharmacy. Okay, then at fifth position I'll say that you can invest your time in analysis, wherein you have to study the titrations. Yes, there are every year there are certain questions on titrations. One or two questions they come on titration. Either they will be on the graph, or they can ask you to calculate something. Okay, or something from the indicator as well. And from biotechnology you have to study those southern blotting, northern blotting techniques, then ELISA techniques, RIA techniques, all those things from biotechnology. Then at sixth number I'll say that you have to study BPPK. Can anyone just let me know what is BPPK? Anyone? What is BPPK? Anyone? Can anyone just let me know? It is biopharmaceutics, right? It is biopharm. So which book do you refer for biopharm, guys? I'll be telling an incident what, like, how I felt when I was studying this subject from a standard reference books. So guys, what did you refer for your biopharm? Which book did you use for biopharm? Just let me know, okay? And from microbiology, you have to study the staining part. Yes, there are questions on staining, gram negative, gram positive staining. And at last, I'll say that at last, okay, jump to your cognosy, because cognosy, believe me, cognosy as a subject is very good. It is very good to understand. The practicals are very like beautiful practicals in cognosy. But when it comes to the theoretical part, those who are good at remembering things, for them cognosy is very easy. For student like me, I was not very good at, like, remembering things. I was not very good at like retuning, the like, I was not very good at memorizing things. Okay, so for those who are very good at this part, they can consider cognosy a good subject. Okay, because in cognosy there are certain parameters that you have to study. You have to study the synonym. You have to study the biological source. You have to study the uses. You have to study the microscopical characteristics. You have to study the chemical constituents of a single plant. And believe me, there are more than 200 plants in the cognosy, right? So for me, cognosy was an hard nut to crack. But initially, I had developed certain tricks, which I have, of course, uploaded on our YouTube portal. You can just go and cross check. And from cognosy, you have to study glycosides and alkaloids. Okay, alkaloids you have to study from cognosy, because there are many questions coming from that domain. And from jurisprudence, make sure that you read all the schedules, because there are one or two questions every year on jurisprudence on the schedules. Okay, so yes, Brahmankar is the book for BPPK. It is biopharmaceutics and pharmacokinetic. Yes, right. So when I was studying BPPK from Brahmankar, Believe me, it took me 1 month. Look, I am having this technique wherein if I understand anything, I'm going to note that thing in a book, in a A4 size book, okay, in my notes. So basically, it took me 1 month to complete absorption chapter from that book. Believe me, it took me 1 month to complete that chapter. So I know that the book is very lengthy, but yes, the concepts, the manner in which they have explained the things are very pretty much clear. So yes, this book is also very good. Okay. So considering the fact that you guys have understood this slide, I'm moving on to the next slide. Based on the, like, look, NIPER, they don't reveal their paper. None of the complete, like, the NIPER paper, they, as of now, it is not completely available in the domain. So yes, we have just taken this questions from memory basis, and we have just, like, given the data in here. So just remember this thing, that for those who are not aware about NIPER, you can give NIPER examination on clearing GPAT, and there are 200 questions in NIPER, and you just have 120 minutes. In 120 minutes, you have to attempt 200 questions. And yes, there's negative marking as well in the NIPER. I will be explaining that in the coming slide as well. Now, guys, how can the question arise in GPAT? Just be very sure that you are watching this slide, and just make sure that you are listening to this slide very carefully. Now, there are three ways, three manners in which the examiner can ask you the same question. Look, either they'll give you the two of the values. They'll ask you what is the inspiratory volume. They'll give you the definition of the inspiratory volume, and they can ask you the value. Okay, or they can tell you the typical value, and they can ask you what is, like, you have to just match the pairs. They can give you certain values and you have to match the pairs in the right order, right? So just remember this thing, that this data was taken from Todora, and I was talking about this note. Initially, if you remember, I told you that PHARMAELITE, we invested our 1 year in collecting resources, right? So in the year 2017 to 2018, we were making these notes, like we were extracting study material from the standard reference book in order to make it more easy to perceive. Okay, so what is respiratory volumes? Okay, now basically, I'll be talking about inspiratory volume at first. So what happens is, the normal amount of air that you're breathing in your normal course of life, like if you're not doing any activity and if you're just sitting idly, what is the normal amount of air an individual and adult can inhale? It is just 500 ml. Okay, likewise, we have explained the definition in this slide with the typical value. Now, I purposely mentioned that we have to not refer those filthy books like PV Nirali, because I have seen many blunders. What happens is that there are some misprints in those books, that they tend to, like, change these values. There's a misprint. So in those filthy books, you can find this value as 600 ml, but the actual value is 500 ml. Okay, so stop using those filthy books and just shift to these standard books, and that can help you. Likewise, there was a question in GPAT. I don't remember the year precisely, but yes, there was the question wherein they asked how many bones are there in human body. The options were 205, 206, 207, 208. So consider that these were the certain options. So guys, what happened is, we know the right answer for this question. Total numbers of bone in the human body. What is the answer for this, guys? Yes, there are so easy questions in GPAT. There are certain number of easy questions allotted to the this such basics level question. So we all know that the right answer is 206, is it? But now just imagine yourself, you can close your eyes and just listen to me. Just close your eyes and think that you're sitting in an examination hall. Okay, you're sitting in an examination hall, you're like completely surrounded by computers and other your friends, those who are giving the examination. You can just hear the keyboard sound, you can just hear the click sound. Okay, so ultimately, if you're like handling, if you're not good at handling that pressure of examination hall, you can create like you can simply create an error in such basic question as well. Like I have seen many girls, they are like getting afraid, they are getting nervous, and they are like attempting such questions like they're in a wronger manner. Like they can mark 205, they can just simply get confused. Okay, so this situation shouldn't be like, shouldn't arise while we are giving the examination. What happens is that we are not like ready, or like we are not mentally prepared to give the examination, and on the day of examination there's sort of nervousness in our mind that whether we'll be able to clear the examination or not, and all those things are running back of the mind. And if certain questions arise, so what is going to happen is that we guys can create blunders here. Believe me, I have seen many students. What they do is that despite knowing the right answer, due to the exam pressure, they can end up giving the wrong answer for such questions. So this has happened, and this can happen with you. So before you go to the examination center, drink plenty of water, make sure that you're calm, you're just, or else I used to listen music. Matlab, for instance, before 5 minutes of examination, entering the examination hall, I was listening to music. I was just making sure that my brain is functioning normally. Okay, so everyone can have their say in this part, but yes, this thing should not happen, because despite knowing the right answer, we can create errors in such questions. Okay, now guys, you can just go and download our PHARMAELITE app, and you can get an access to various things. For those who want to connect with PHARMAELITE, let's meet on the other side. If you're interested in joining with PHARMAELITE, you can just contact to us on the following numbers, and believe me, you'll be provided with the following things. At first, you'll be getting access to 18,000 plus 18K plus MCQs. Okay, 18,000 plus MCQs. Then second, you'll be getting uh, recorded lectures of 500 hours plus on all the topics important for the pharmacy. 500 hours of recorded lectures. Third, there will be live lectures every week. There will be 4 live lectures every week. Okay. Fourth, you will be given access to the full length test of this portal. The full length part of the portal is an exact replica of your GPAT paper. So you can just like prepare yourself mentally here. The full length test paper, you can see, I'll be showing the screenshots in the coming slide as well. So, and apart from that, you will be given access to the notes as well. So I'll repeat once again. You'll be getting access to 18,000 plus MCQs. You'll be getting access to 500 hours of recorded lectures on all the topics which are important for your pharma uh, competitive examinations related to pharma. Then every week you will be having 4 live lectures, 4 live sessions, both online and offline. The offline branches are available in Maharashtra as of now, but we have students from southern part of the country as well. We have students from Karnataka, we have students from Chennai as well. So they're joining the online part, and they're like very consistent throughout. And then you will be getting an access to full length paper wherein you can solve the exact replica of GPAT uh, examination, and obviously you will be given access to the study material as well. Okay, for any query related to admission, you can just call on the following number. Now, guys, I'm going to give you a demo on how the teachers at PHARMAELITE they teach. Basically, if you are aware that the teachers, all the teachers at PHARMAELITE, they are like all India rank holders. Along with rank holders, they are highly qualified and they are equally very good. Okay, so straight away I'll be explaining you what is bronchial asthma. I'm just giving you a demo lecture. For those who want to watch a demo lecture on antibiotic, it is available on the YouTube channel. You can just go and check in there. Okay. For instance, I'll be just telling you how we teach at PharmaElite and how one must study while preparing for GPAT examination. Now, we are talking about bronchial asthma today. So just consider this part. Okay. Now, I guess that we are aware about what mast cell is. Guys, what is mast cell? Guys, what is mast cell? Guys, what is mast cell? Anyone can just let me know in the comment section. Okay, so there's a cell called as mast cell which is in our body. So on the surface of mast cell we are having antigen and antibodies interaction which is going to take place on a longer course. Okay, so just imagine the mast cell. Mast cell is there, and on that surface of mast cell, we can think of antigen is reacting with the antibody. Okay. So ultimately, what is going to happen over the period of time is that this mast cell, in simpler language, is going to get fractured. Is going to get punctured. Now, this puncturing is called as degranulation in scientific terms. Degranulation of mast cell. Okay, degranulation of mast cell is going to take place, and from mast cell there are certain mediators that is going to be released. Now the mast cell is going to release certain mediators. Now what can be these mediators? These mediators can be the leukotrienes, it can be histamine, it can be prostaglandins, then it can be platelet activating factors, protease enzymes, anything. Okay, so just as of now, just consider a mast cell. You can imagine a mast cell. On the surface of mast cell, the antigen is going to react with the antibody. Ultimately it is going to lead to the degranulation. Now degranulation is that there will be certain pores, the mast cell is going to burst open and it is going to release certain mediators. Now mediators are leukotrienes, histamine, prostaglandins, platelet activating factors. Now uh, just imagine our lung and just zoom into our lung. We all know that there's something called as bronchioles, right? Okay, so there's something called as bronchioles. Okay, so ultimately these mediators are going to constrict these bronchioles. So imagine if your like lungs is responsible for the breathing purpose, right? Imagine that your bronchioles are constricted. Now you will find it difficult to breathe. That is your bronchial asthma. That's it. So mast cell is there. On the surface of mast cell, we are having antigen and antibody. On the longer course of time, this interaction can lead to the degranulation of mast cell. Mediators are released. Mediators can lead to the bronchoconstriction. Bronchoconstriction, and we all know that prostaglandins is responsible for inflammation as well. Okay, inflammation as well, and bronchoconstriction. So ultimately you will find it difficult to breathe. So that is what happens in bronchial asthma. Okay, now if you guys are thorough with this part, let's talk about the treatment. This was the mechanism of action, how bronchial asthma is going to happen in our body. Now let's talk about the treatment. Now imagine I make a drug that is going to stop this interaction. The first and foremost thing is that I can create a drug that is going to stop the antigen antibody interaction, or I can simply create a drug that is going to neutralize one of the parameter. Let's consider the antibody, a drug that can neutralize the antibody, or else I can get a drug that can simply stabilize the mast cell. If the mast cell is stabilized, it won't form out mediators, so bronchoconstrictions won't take place, right? So in case of inflammation, we can use corticosteroids, right? NSAIDs we can use. Then if histamine is released, we can think of histamine antagonist, right? So yes, there are certain number of treatments that is possible for this case, but based on the mechanism of action, I have just like given 5 such treatments, right? I hope this is clear. I hope this is clear, guys. So let's see. As we can see, bronchial, here we can see that the antibody and antigen is going to bind on the mast cell, and the antibody which is bound to the mast cell is going to degranulate the mast cell and release the mediators. The mediators are prostaglandins, leukotrienes, platelet activating factors, histamines, and these mediators can lead to bronchoconstriction and inflammation. Okay, this was your mechanism of action. Now, when I'm talking about treatment, I can think of a drug that is going to prevent the antigen antibody reaction, or I can simply neutralize the antibody, or I can stop the release of mediators by using the mast cell stabilizers. I can just stabilize my mast cell, right? Or else I can suppress the inflammation, or we can use antihistamines, leukotriene antagonist, anything, right? So this is the mechanism of action of hello.
Ah, yes, some kid. Now it's visible. You can continue.
Am I audible, right?
Yeah, yeah, you are audible. You are audible.
Yeah, sorry,
Ah,
ma'am.
yes.
There has been a network failure from my end again and again.
Okay, no issues. Ah, yeah, you are audible. You are audible. We can understand. Ah, yes. Okay, no issues. Ah, yeah, you are audible. You are audible. We can understand. Ah, yes.
Hello. So let's come back. So basically, I know that in the first year,
Sorry for interrupting.
yes, ma'am.
Actually, your PPT is not visible now. Your screen is not visible.
Ma'am, I guess it's there, right? It's visible now.
Now it's arriving. Yeah, now it's okay.
Yes. So basically, guys, what happens is that in the first year, we are exposed to HAP. Okay. In the first year, we are like having HAP, wherein we study about respiratory system. In the second year, we have pathophysiology. In pathophysiology, we study about asthma. Okay. In the third year, we are having ecology. Okay. In ecology, we study about the drugs related to asthma. And in final year, we are having our GPAT examination. Now, this is what is going to happen, right? This is continuously happening with us. So, in first year, we are studying respiratory system, then we are studying asthma, then we are studying in the third year drugs related to asthma in detail, right? And in final year, we have to give the GPAT examination. So, I hardly remember what I ate yesterday. So, how can I remember this thing? Like in 4 years what we are doing, and we have to just like remember everything in the final year and like attempt everything, right? So for this purpose, I want you guys to study in the manner which I like taught you. So study the treatment, along with the treatment, study the mechanism of action initially. If you are well thorough with the mechanism of action, then go to the treatment. Like if you go to the treatment, then it is easier for you to understand. Okay, so this is what is happening, right? You guys agree with me or not? Do you guys agree with me or not? Right? This is happening with us, right? Okay. So I hope bronchial asthma's part is very clear to you. Shall I proceed? Anyone in the comment section can just let me know, okay? Okay. Now, when it comes to this medicinal chemistry's part, wherein we are having very like diversified structures, right? Very lengthy structures to remember. Guys, to be honest, I haven't remembered any structures before GPAT examination. Matlab, I didn't even bother to like look at every structure for the examination. What I did is I instead studied the point of differences. Now I know that in quinolone we are going to have a common moiety of 4-oxoquinolone 3-carboxylic acid. Now carboxylic acid is going to be there, right? It is going to be there. 4-oxoquinolone moiety is also there, right? So what I did is I studied the point of differences. Now just see, this nitrogen is substituted with ethyl group. This is cyclopropyl. Now here we have methoxy group, and here we have ammonia, amine group, right? Now, if you guys study this point of differences, if you guys study this point of differences, believe me, it is GPAT is very very easier then. Now, a quinolone that is having ethyl group which is substituted at nitrogen, it is called as norfloxacin. Similarly, if we have cyclopropyl, then it is ciprofloxacin. Likewise, methoxy is there, then gatifloxacin, and ammonia amino group is there, then sparfloxacin. So, if you are very clear with this part, na guys, then learning becomes more easier. Now, here for GPAT, you have to do some smart study as well. Okay, is this clear? So just remember the point of differences. That's it. Now I know the common moiety for the like for quinolone. I know the parent structure. Now I can just remember if the nitrogen is substituted with the ethyl group, then it is not fluoxazine. If it is substituted with like cyclopropyl group, then it is ciprofloxacin. Likewise, you can remember everything, right? Now, guys, before I go to this SAR part, for those who are in first and second year, guys, SAR is like there's a structure, and just imagine that we are playing with that structure. If you remove one arm of the structure, what is going to happen? Whether the activity is going to increase or decrease. For instance, we know that let's consider this is a coin. Okay, if this side of the coin is heads, what is the other side of the coin, guys? If a side of a coin is head, then what is the other side of the coin? Just let me know in the comment section. Be quick, guys. Hello. If the side, one side of the coin is heads, then what is the other side of the coin, guys? I'm just waiting for your responses. Come on. I just don't want to bore you guys. I want this session to be a two-way session now. So what is the other side of the coin? It is tail, right, Varun? On point. So now same is the case with SAR. Either if you are going to make some modifications in the structures, it is either going to increase the activity or it is either going to decrease the activity. Now, as you knew, I didn't tell you that the answer was tails, right? But you knew it somehow, right? So, likewise, if you follow that concept, now imagine chloramphenicol. Now, chloramphenicol, if you study the SAR, if we study the SAR for chloramphenicol, just look at this SAR. We don't have to remember everything in detail. For GPAT, just have to remember the logical thing. For instance, if you look at here, we are having loss of activity, loss of activity, loss of activity, loss of activity, loss of activity. But only in this case, when I replace this nitro group with electron withdrawing groups, I'm getting a positive activity. That's it. I have to remember only this part. This is going to help you in both semester as well as your GPAT examination. Just remember the things that is going to increase the activity of the structure or the drug, right? If the activity is increased by that shift, then just remember that shift, and it is ultimately going to like make you remember the remaining ones. Apart from that, we can predict that if I change something here, if I change something here, if I change something here, it is going to decrease the activity. That's it. So likewise, we have to study SAR for GPAT. Obviously, for your semester, you have to write it in detail. I know it. Okay. Now, when I'm talking about Dapson, now there are certain questions that have started coming in the examinations, wherein they will be the name of the drug will be given, the starting material will be given. They'll be asking you what are the reagents, or sometimes they can give you the starting reagent, starting material, the reagents, and they can ask you the name of the drug. But for instance, let's consider the name of the drug is Dapson. Now, Dapson, the structure is here. The starting material is parachloronitrobenzene. It is treated with sodium sulfide. Now, for those who didn't know that Dapsone, it is an anti-lepretic drug. Okay. Now, why it is called as Dapsone? Let's build it. Let's break it down as of now. D stands for di. Di means two. Di. Okay. A is for amino. You can see one, two. Diamino, diphenyl. Sone is your sulfone's zone. Diamino, diamino, diphenyl sulfone. That is your dapsone. Okay. So if it is clear now this is the dapsone structure and this is the starting material. Just look at this part very carefully. Okay, guys. Now this part is our nitro. This is like how I used to study for GPAT. Okay. This is the nitro part, which is ultimately converted to amino. Now the sulfur was alone here. It has got converted to sulfone. So we can just predict that here reduction has taken place and here we had oxidation. It went through oxidation, right? So we know that reducing agents and oxidizing agents are used, right? So now can I predict the reagents? Reducing and oxidizing agents are the reagents that I am going to require, right? So as we can see, K2Cr2O7, H2SO4 and SnCl2 with HCl. So reducing and oxidizing agents are used, is it? So likewise, we have to study. Likewise, they are asking certain questions. So don't panic. If you see certain questions in the examinations, just don't panic. Just look at the question, look at the starting material, just compare it with the final product. Just see whether what changes does the starting material has undergone, and you can easily predict the reagent. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. Now, there are certain questions on this part as well. Now, for those who are not aware about what prodrug is, basically prodrug is a drug which is in its inactive form. Initially, when I eat that tablet, the drug is in its inactive form. It is going to go and get into my intestine. It is going to get converted to its active form, and that active form is going to showcase the activity of the drug. Now, just imagine this. Okay, this is the prodrug. Now this is the prodrug. It is going to convert to the drug, and now this drug is going to show the activity. Okay. So there are certain questions on this part as well, wherein they can give you the They can simply ask you the meta look, the metabolite of the prodrug is the active form. Okay, so initially if someone is practicing at a pharmacy store, they can know that levodopa's tablet is available in the market. Okay, so if you eat levodopa, it is ultimately going to get converted to the dopamine, and this dopamine is going to act on the dopaminergic receptors. Okay, and this dopamine is responsible for showcasing the activity. So we must know this pair. If the prodrug is levodopa, then its active form is dopamine. Similarly, if the prodrug is enalpril, the active form is enalprilate. Likewise, if the active form is alpha methyl morphine, then the prodrug is alpha methyl dopa. Okay, so they can ask you questions likewise in the both format. Okay, it's not predictable. They can just ask you in one direction, they can ask you in the other two, so it is possible. So I request you all to take a screenshot of this as well. Okay, now guys, if you are aiming for GPAT 23, 24, or any other later version of the examination, we must have certain things in our mind. If you are, firstly, we have to aim for all India rank 1. Just consider that we are going to get, just target that 500 marks. Every morning you should promise yourself that yes, I have to achieve something, I have to prove my worth to my parents. Okay, look, I can assure you that many of the students in the feed, in the live part of the session, I can assure you that you didn't take pharmacy by choice, right? You wanted to do MBBS and you ultimately ended up in pharmacy. It's the case with majority of you. But now is the chance. If you get good ranking in the GPAT, the whole country is going to applaud you. Okay. Now, how the goal setting has to be done? Initially, we have to follow certain traits. Now, we have to identify what our weaknesses is, what our strength is. Initially, I have to identify what my strength is. For instance, my strength is ecology, my weakness is cognosy. I've just identified it. Then plan big and take smaller steps. Look, plan for, like, I have to study for 6 months. I have 6 months for examination. I have to study 2 hours daily. Okay, 2 hours daily for 6 months, and you will be GPAT All India rank 1. But you have to consist. You have to be consistent. If this consistency is somewhere tampered, then believe me, this All India rank 1 can change to All India rank 1000 as well. Okay. Now, are my strong areas having more weightage for GPAT, NIPER, and Manipal? Look, there are many various examinations, competitive examinations for pharma. Once you're done with your bachelor's, you are eligible for such examinations. So just look where your strength lies and give those examinations as well. Keeping more options open is going to help you. Okay. Now, what actions are to be taken for weak zones? Initially, give more time to your weaker zones. Try to convert your weaker zones to your strength. Okay. Now, you have to keep on solving papers. Every 2 days, you have to solve one question paper, and make sure, suppose today you are getting a score of 100. After 15 days, it should be more than 100. The score should be above 100. Okay. It must not deep. You must have this graph. Okay, having a graph like this is going to put you in a badder part of your life, sadder part of your life. Okay, so make sure that you are like progressing in a positive direction. Okay, now guys, I'll be sharing an analogy with you. One of my friend, he got all India rank 47 in the year 2020. In the year 2020, he got all India rank 47. His score was 258. Okay. In the very next year, one of my senior, he got the score of 270, somewhere near to 270, and his all India ranking was somewhere around 90. His all India rank was somewhere around 90. So if you are aware with the concept of inflation, okay, so this is the part, okay, wherein what happens is uh, many times what happens is if you are like getting a 270 score, which is a higher score than the previous one, then also your all India rank is going to get on the higher part. Okay, so every now and then the competition is increasing. You can see the cutoff of the previous year GPAT results. Now, if you remember this Lakshman Rekha, we had NTA after 2018, right? So when from the moment when India came into the picture, the cutoff is going to get her on the higher side. The cutoff for the previous year was less because this was the COVID affected batch as well. Okay, so every single mark matters. Now, what after GPAT? If you're done with GPAT, you can think of NIPER. If you get into NIPER, you can think of your PhD, or you can take up a good paying job, and then you can ultimately start your own business venture. This is a common life cycle that most of the students they follow in the pharma community. Okay, so I'll be talking about what are the different strategies that are required for different entrances now. Now, for GPAT, we know that GPAT examination is of 125 questions. 3 hours is the time limit. Okay, we have 180 minutes for GPAT examination. Negative marking is there. So, plus 4 minus 1 is the negative markings working with GPAT. Then there are superficial questions in GPAT. Then there are important topics to be focused. For instance, I mentioned something from ecology. In ecology, you have to study anti-cancer, anti-inflammation as well. From pharmaceutical engineering, you have to study distillation very well. Likewise, there are certain important topics which you have to focus on. Similarly, NIPER, it is of 200 questions. You have just 2 hours. In 120 minutes, you have to attempt 200 questions. Yes, NIPER is very, very easy. GPAT is tougher exam. NIPER is comparatively very easy examination. There are more basic and application type questions. GK based questions are there. IQ based questions are there in GPAT. Okay. There are questions on synonyms and antonyms. There are questions which like vary with the subjects as well. Okay. Is this clear? Okay. Now, likewise, Sniper and Manipal, they are all the same. But yes, Sniper is in government institute and Manipal is in private institute. Okay. So always aim for Sniper. Sniper is going to get you to a greater heights in the community. Okay. Now, ICT MTech is other examination. ICT MTech is the easiest of all the examinations for pharma community. Okay. Now for ICT MTech, you just have 50 questions. The time limit is of 60 minutes and there's no negative marking. There is no negative marking. Okay. For ICT MTech, there is no negative marking. Likewise, there are superficial questions in this examination as well. Okay. Yes, obviously, every examinations they have different domain wherein we have to focus differently. Okay. So if you are like switching examinations, the domain is also going to change. Okay. Likewise, BITS, if you're aware about this institute, Birla Institute of Technology, they're also having their examination. BITS HD is the name of the examination precisely. So BITS is also very reputed institute, and getting into BITS can also get you like to a greater heights as well. Now, guys, I was talking about NIPER. So there are 7 NIPER in the country. Okay, there are 7 NIPER in the country. So, I guess, yes. So basically, I have purposely highlighted these 3 NIPERs, and the remaining NIPERs, I have just highlighted it with the black ink. Okay. So, NIPER Mohali is the best institute for your pharma. And for those who are not aware about the full form of NIPER is National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research. I repeat, National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research is the full form of NIPER. And NIPER Mohali, this campus is located in Mohali. It's in, believe me, the campus is located in the jungle, but it's an worth experience getting admitted to NIPER Mohali. Okay. And for those who are not aware, NIPER also gives us 3 degrees. They can give MS degree as well. They can give you master's degree. They also provide you MBA degree as well. Yes, NIPER also gives you MBA degree. So you can aim for NIPER as well. The packages after completion of your NIPER is above 6 lakhs on an average. 6 lakhs per annum is the starting package. Okay. It can go up to 15 lakhs as well, provided you are capable. Okay. Now there are certain different questions which also come from this part. Heterocyclic chemistry, we are studying this part from the first year itself, right? Heterocyclic chemistry. But the questions that come on this part is that they are going to ask us the ring moiety. For instance, let's look at this slide. Uh, okay, sorry, yes. So they are going to ask us the name of the drug. They'll ask the question that what is the drug that contains furon moiety in it and it has an anti-ulcer activity. A furon moiety with an anti-ulcer activity, then the drug is ranitidine. Likewise, what is the, if they can ask you the same question in another format, is that they can simply ask you, consider morphine. Okay, so what is the heterocyclic ring or the moiety present in the morphine structure, which is an opioid analgesic? Okay, then the right answer is isoquinoline. So they can ask you questions based on the heterocyclic ring, or they can just simply ask you the name of the drug, provided the activity and the other part is mentioned. So yes, they can ask you. And for those who wanted, I have just uploaded a feedback form. Please don't forget to fill the feedback form which I have pinned in the comment section as well. Okay. Now there are certain questions on this part as well. There are questions on drug excipient interaction as well. There are questions on drug interactions as well. Now, when I am talking about drug excipient interaction, we must know that isoniazide. What is isoniazide, guys? It's an anti-TB drug, right? It's a drug used in tuberculosis. So, isoniazide, while I am preparing a tablet of isoniazide, I can't use lactose. For instance, if I use lactose, I am going to get the tablet is going to get discolored. That is, the Maillard reaction is going to take place. Likewise, for aspirin, if I use PVP, now PVP is polyvinyl pyrrolidone. PVP is polyvinyl pyrrolidone. Okay. Hello. Okay. So PVP is polyvinyl pyrrolidone. If I use PVP while preparing aspirin tablet, then this PVP, it has higher moisture content. So what it does is it is going to hydrolyze my aspirin. And if my aspirin gets hydrolyzed, then the activity of aspirin is going to deplete. It is going to get reduced. So there are many questions on drug interaction as well and drug excipient interaction as well. Okay. Now there are questions on this part as well. If you remember performing these experiments while doing your biochemistry practicals or your cognitive practicals, then you might remember this as well. Now there are 3 ways of asking questions on this sector. They'll either ask you questions on the endpoint, they can ask you questions on the name, or they can ask you questions on the reagents, provided the other two parameters will be mentioned. For instance, they can ask you a test of general test for alkaloid that gives reddish brown PPT when I use iodine or potassium iodide. Then the name of the test is Wagner's test. Likewise, they can simply ask you what is the reagent used in Hager's test that gives us yellow color. Then the answer is picric acid. Okay. So we must be very thorough with the reagent as well. Now, this is the reason why I used to hate cognosy pretty much. Okay. Now, if you study alkaloids, now these are the types of alkaloids, and every type has certain drugs, certain plants, certain class, certain examples that we have to remember. One such day, there was a question on GPAT that what is an example of purine alkaloid? What is an example of purine alkaloid? So at that time I left that question unattempted, But then I remember that I studied that this part via a trick which I have uploaded on the YouTube as well. You can just go and study this trick as well. So the moment I remember the trick was chai, coffee, Coca Cola. Chai, coffee, Coca Cola is the trick for purine alkaloids. Now, if you want to remember purine alkaloids, just remember chai, coffee, Coca Cola. Then, for instance, I remember there were four options. I guess ephedra was there, tea was there, then cinchonine. There's something I don't remember the other option. But then I remember this trick and I was able to identify the class of this, right? Chai, coffee, Coca Cola. So likewise, we have to remember everything. For instance, they can ask you ephedra belongs to which class of the alkaloids? It is the amino alkaloids, right? Ephedra falls under amino alkaloids. So likewise, we have to remember everything. Opium comes under isoquinoline alkaloids, right? So for cognosy, you have to remember certain things. These are the synonyms you have to remember. You have to remember the synonyms, you have to remember the biological source, you have to remember the chemical constituents, you have to remember the structure, you have to remember the chemical taste, you have to remember the microscopy, the uses as well. Just for one ephedra, you have to remember these 7 parameters. Now you can see we have this much of the drugs. Now it is not practical possible for me to remember this thing, right? So I have given a trick which is uploaded on our YouTube channel. Just go and check. And yes, we are also there on Instagram. Just make sure that you follow PHARMAELITE on the Instagram, and you will be exposed to various tricks and important part for your GPAT examination. Okay. Now, while studying, there are certain strategies you must follow. Now there are certain methods in which you can solve the MCQs. Either you have to know all the options, or you have to eliminate, like the one which we used to do earlier. We used to find the odd man out, the remaining one. If the odd man out is known, then the remaining, they all fall under the similar category, and the odd man out is the final answer. That is the elimination method. And the logical way of solving, you can just look at the question and predict the answer. That is your logical way of solving. Likewise, guys, this is an replica of the GPAT paper. This is the full length paper which is available with the PHARMAELITE. Okay, just a minute, I'm just raising the ink. So guys, this is the full length paper which is available on PHARMAELITE portal. So it is an exact replica of your GPAT examination. Okay, full length paper है ये पूरा आपका. And just remember that here you will be having a timer which is going to aim to 0 0 0 0 0 0. Okay, so you are having 3 hours and you have to solve all the questions. You can switch to questions if you want. Here, the palette, you can use the cursor and you can switch to any other question you want. And suppose the question is Chargaff's rule is in relation to. I know that it isn't related to our DNA. It isn't related to carbohydrates and proteins. It might be related to DNA, or it can be related to ATGC. But then yes, Chargaff's rule is purely related to ATGC, right? Then I have to mark this ATGC. I have to do save and next, and then make sure that this signal gets into this red signal gets converted to green signal, right? Ultimately, while your examination, if you are appearing for GPAT examination, make sure that you submit in here. Okay, there's this submit button on the end of the screen. So don't forget to submit. Okay, is this clear? Don't forget to submit. Okay, so and after you submit, there will be a message on the screen, thank you message on the screen. If you don't get thank you message on the screen, if you don't get thank you message on the screen, don't leave the examination hall. Just ask the examination examiner to the invigilator to make sure that your answers are submitted, because last year we had many issues on across various centers in the country, wherein there was issue regarding submission. I myself have solved 108 question, but I didn't receive a thank you message. And after waiting for 1 hour, the timing was paused obviously, but I started with 48 question again. For instance, I solved 108 questions, but there was a lag in the system, and I like got back to 48 questions. So I had just 15 minutes, and in 15 minutes I solved the remaining ones, and that was the reason I didn't get a good score in the GPAT. Anyways, luck is an other important factor in GPAT examination as well. Okay, so guys, with Pharma Elite, you not only get an full length paper, but you will also be able to compare your result. You will see, you can work on your time management as well. You can get a question report. Okay, in the question report, believe me, hello. Okay, in the question report, you can see what how much time you have invested in every single question. You can see the right answer. You can just go and check why the solution is right. Okay, you can also see how much time did you spend on each particular question. You can also get the level of the question. Okay, then result. With Pharma Elite, we are having students from all over the country. Okay, so ultimately you can compare your results. Just a minute, guys. Why is my system not working? Uh, I'm experiencing a trouble in here. Just a minute, guys. I don't know what's wrong with the system. Again and again, it's failing me. But anyways, so on Pharma Elite, you will be able to like analyze your paper in detailed format. Okay, and we are also having a special series wherein you can work on your weaknesses as well. We have framed a series wherein if you are having a cognosy as then ultimately you can solve more and more MCQs from cognosy as well. Okay, so guys,
Sorry for the inconvenience, student. Sir will be joining within 2 to 3 minutes.
Yes, as we can see the current slide. Hello. Am I audible, ma'am? Can anyone just give me confirmation?
Tell me, sir.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
As we can see the current slide.
Yes.
So there we discussed on how we can solve GPAT full length paper on the PHARMAELITE's portal, right? Yes. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yes. So this is the strategy which I wanted to share with you guys. I know many of the students they have left, but yes, this is the important part of my presentation. So what we have to do generally is we know that there are 125 questions. We know that 125 questions are there and we just have 3 hours. So basically what will happen is 35 questions out of 125 questions will be such questions wherein we don't know the answers. Like this will be the total unaware questions that might come. And these questions, these 35 questions, I suggest that we should not attempt these 35 questions. Now, for the leftover parts, we have 90 questions, right? We'll be having 90 questions in the hand, out of which there will be 50 questions for which we will be 100% sure that what we have to do. And the leftover 40 questions, there will be a situation in which we can get confused in two of the options, right? We can get confused in either option A and either option B. We might think that A is also right, B is also right. So there will be a 60, 40, 50, 50 situations for these 40 questions. But as we are aware of the saying that if we take a risk, like we had that saying, risk hai to ishq hai, right? Similarly, we have to attempt these 40 questions for sure. What is going to happen is that if certain cases, the worst case scenario in this 40 questions will be that 10 questions out of the 40 questions can be correct, and the leftover questions, can I have the next part, Sujit sir? Yes, next one more. Okay, that's it. So what is going to happen is out of these 40 questions, 10 questions they are going to get right, and the 30 questions they are going to get you minus 30. But if I do the math, then just remember that 10 questions they are going to fetch you plus 40 marks, right? And the leftover 30 questions, they are going to get you a minus 30. Then also, believe me, you will be getting a plus 10 because you have taken a calculated risk, right? You have done 50 questions right, and you have taken a risk for 40 questions, right? So ultimately what is going to happen is that For this case, for worst case possible, you just can get 10 right questions. But just imagine now, if you get 20 questions correct and 20 questions wrong. Now for 20 questions right, you will be getting plus 80, and for minus 20, for 20 questions wrong, you'll be getting a minus 20. Then you'll be getting a plus 60. And provided these 50 questions are right, then just imagine you'll be getting a score of 260, right? So yes, this strategy is has to be followed by everyone, right? And there are various strategies that we provide our students, those who are a part of PHARMAELITE family. We also give them lectures on how to like deal in examination hall. Like many a times what I have personally seen, that many of the girls, they have studied for 4 long years, and at the day of examination they get frustrated, they are not mentally prepared, and they end up failing like the examination despite they have given complete efforts. So there's something on which we have to work. We must have the right mindset, right? So as we can see in the current slide, that we have to attempt at least more than 90 questions, then and then only we can get to that mark. If we can see the slide, there are if we suppose I attempt 90 questions, out of 90 I get only 50 correct, then I'll be getting a score of 200. And remaining 40 questions, if it goes wrong, then just minus 40, I'll be getting a net score of 160. Now, as keeping the competition in mind, I can say that 160 can be the like a safer score, right? So if we attempt 100 questions, out of which we get 60 questions right, okay, so we will be able to get a score of 240, provided the keeping the negative questions in mind, we can get a net score of 200, and at 200 we can easily qualify the examination. And once you're qualified the GPAT examination, we can easily like start preparing for NIPER examination. For NIPER, I say 2 months are more than enough for NIPER examination. Okay, sir, can we have the next slide? Hello, can we have the next slide? Yes. So guys, anything and everything is possible, provided we are having the right perception, the right mindset. If we are having that right approach to the examination, anything and everything is possible. Look, if you are judging yourself that can I crack the examination, if you are asking this question, and if you are answering that yes, I don't think that I can qualify the examination, there and there itself you get failed. First and the foremost thing is that you must have self confidence. Look, nobody is going to tell you about this thing, because ultimately if you keep on preparing for examination, that is your education part of the examination. But there's something called as mental preparation. If the mental preparation is zero, believe me, friends, ultimately what is going to happen is that despite knowing all the answers, if your mental health, if your mental preparation is not completely done, then you can end up getting a lower score. So we must have that right perception, we must have that right mindset, and believe me, we can easily qualify the examination. That's it. If you're having any doubt, you can just let me know in the comment section. If you're having any questions, you can just post it in the comment section. I'll be pleased to answer all those questions. Any questions?
Thank you, Dr. Samki. It was a great presentation, and you gave a very eye-opening lecture about to our students and also to our pharma graduates. So, may I now request Dr. Murugesan to take over the discussion session, please, sir?
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, madam. Students, do you have it in the comment so that I can convey to the presenter? Please post into the comment. Do you have any questions?
Any questions? I'll be pleased to answer them. And one more thing, students, you can also give some certain government examinations as well. There are also many openings in the government fields that they require pharma graduates. So you can also plan to give those examination as well. If you want to get into some government jobs, then these jobs are for definitely for you.
Sir, it will be very grateful if you give your mail ID so that students can post their queries to your mail. Okay.
Yes, I'll be dropping my mail ID in the
And
comment section.
yeah, you can just drop it in the chat box so that students may reach you.
So there are a couple of students who's from the
Is the
masters,
mail ID
and
visible?
they are.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, actually, it is in a private job. So there are a couple of students from the masters. Actually, they're applying this year. They are going to attend the CSCR kind of examinations. So for them, do you have any suggestions like the CSCR? Can you just briefly tell that they are trying for the UGC NET and CSCR exams? So can you
Sir,
just
you're not
briefly give
audible.
some
Which
suggestions?
examination?
Pardon me?
Hello. You're not audible. Can you just repeat?
Yeah.
Hello.
1 minute. Is that audible, sir, now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yeah. So there are some, there are some attendees from student side, like they want to CR.
Hello.
Hello?
Okay, they are planning for
Yeah, is that
CSIR
audible, sir?
UG, right? CSIR exam, right?
Yes. You just, yeah, you just seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
UGC NET exam.
So just
Okay.
briefly give some
For
suggestions
those,
on how to approach it.
okay. Basically, for those who are listening this chat, I guess most of you are unaware about this examination. This examination is for your fellowship, right? If you want to get a research fellowship or lecturership, you can just give this examination, right? If I'm mistaken, sir, please let me know. As of now, I don't have a
Yes.
complete idea on that because I'm planning for my masters. I'm planning for from a
Okay,
masters from
fine.
a foreign country. So I just gave my IELTS examination as of now. So for those who are
Okay,
aiming for,
fine.
okay, one more thing, if you are aiming to go to a foreign country, so you have to
Hmm.
give examination called as IELTS. It's an English language proficiency test, that is going to help you to get into a good college. The better the score, the better the chances of getting into a good college. Obviously, they are going to check your CV. So one more thing, that start working on your CV as of now. For instance, if you don't have a stronger CV or resume, then the college might reject your application. So if you want to build your CV in a good way, you can do certain courses. Many courses are available on Coursera, and other Swayam portal is also there. So you can just go and do certain courses related to our field from those websites. And apart from that, you can also go and take part in the certification courses which are also there on the PHARMAELITE portal. Okay. So the better the CV, the resume, the better the job opportunities, and the better the chances of getting admitted to the best universities around the world. So start working on your CV.
So one more question, sir. This actually, this for the especially the foreign that you are telling, suggesting that for continue the higher educations of the foreign universities, like you told that you know what attend for the IELTS English language test. Yeah, there is of
Yes.
course, and apart from that, they are asking the GRE Graduate Record Exam. So is that
Okay.
this GPAT qualification is anywhere going to help on that admission process? Because this is
Sir,
also
actually, to be honest, if you're not a
this is also
GPAT, yeah. Okay, sorry, sir. Okay, I get the question. Yeah. So, if you're telling me that GPAT score does it have any influence on the GRE and all other examination, right?
yes,
And
exactly.
okay,
Yes, exactly.
so basically, just remember this thing that all the students who are giving GRE examination, GPAT, like it won't actually help you, but yes, GPAT examination is going to make your CV look wider, broader, more broader, and it can increase that the admitter, like the examination officer or the college, they might think that this student have qualified the national level examination in his country, so he might be capable of doing many things in this field. So yes, it can ultimately increase the chances of getting you admitted to this country. And yes, if it's not done, if you're not a GPAT qualified student, then also you can give this examination, provided your SOP. Look, there are certain documents that you have to give to the college you're applying. So SOP is one such document. SOP is the statement of purpose. Like why are you joining the university? Why do you want to study in that university? So if your SOP, your resume is strong enough, then GPAT score is not going to matter. Remember this thing. But having a GPAT score on the safer side can have a good impact on the invigilator's mind. So is this clear? I hope the answer was delivered. Hello.
Questions. Is that I'm audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible now.
Yeah. One more question from that from our faculty side. Yeah. One more
Yes, sir.
question from our faculty side. Dr. Vinodini, she was asking the question. Do you have any software for scoring and analysis the weaker and stronger areas?
With PHARMAELITE, sir,
Do you
actually we
have
are
any
having
softwares?
yes. So we actually are having we are not having a software as such, but yes, we have developed a series of test series wherein a student can analyze their weaknesses and strength. For instance, what we have done is we have given weightages to subject. For instance, there are 10 such question papers that we have designed, wherein we have like given more proportionate amount of like interest to particular subjects. For instance, in the first test series, you will be having 50% questions from the ecology part, and for the 50% questions, you will be having from the rest of the subjects. Likewise, we have designed the subjects, and the students they can give any of the subjects. In case we find that the student is scoring less than 50%, so there we can understand that
Okay.
he that domain is not his domain, so that is his weakness.
Okay.
Matlab, we have designed some
So
question papers. Yes, we have
is
designed
that
certain
freely
question
available?
papers.
Shall I tell you?
What's up?
Is that software is freely available or something for my light?
No, sir. It is exclusively with PHARMAELITE, sir, as of now.
Okay.
But yes, I
Okay.
can
Okay.
request the team if there are students, those who want to check, and the interested student, I can just ask the team if they can like provide one of the test series to the students.
Okay. And there are a couple of questions from the student side,
Yes,
like
sir.
which is a good doing M-Farm in foreign or India? That is another one question.
Look, yes, sir. So thank you for the question. Actually I can't access. Yes, I can see. Okay, Aditya is asking this question, right? Okay.
Yes,
So
yes, yes,
Aditya,
yes.
doing M-Farm in India and doing M-Farm in foreign. Now it depends. Now there are many terms and conditions for this as well. Now what is going to happen is, look, if you're doing your M-Farm from NIPER Mohali, then it is the best institute in the country. Okay, so you're ultimately going to get a good job. You're ultimately going to get that higher reputation on your side. But if you go and do the same course from the foreign university, and that university falls like it's not in the top 50 of the world, okay, so then NIPER Mohali is always best. The point is, if you are doing your M.Pharm from the best college of the any country, that is going to matter the most. And if you are asking me generally, what happens is, what I have seen particularly is that pharma as a profession in India is not respected much. Like, but this is not the case when you go to foreign. If you go to foreign country, we get the same status as what we give to the doctors, the physicians as of now. Okay. Yes, sir. Am I visible, sir? Yes, someone requested me to turn on
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
screen. Yes, sir. So, guys, you can see that I'm not an old one. I'm not an old professor. I'm just one of you. So, you can just feel free to ask me any questions if you're having any questions. Other question was there from
Uh, Another question is that advisable leaving a subject during the preparations. When you're doing the
okay.
preparations for
Now
the
that
GPAT
is a
exam,
case dependent. Yes, that is a
this
case dependent situation, amount of time in your hand. So what I think is, you can leave certain subjects for options, but yes, you have to study ecology, chemistry, and sutics. These three subjects are the most important subjects. Okay, ecology, sutics, and medicinal chemistry. Chemistry includes all organic, inorganic, and medicinal chemistry. These three subjects shouldn't be in option. Else you can think of like keeping certain subjects in option for GPAT.
Sir, I have a doubt. Actually,
Yes,
many
ma'am.
of our students whom they approach us, they are finding it little bit difficulty with biochemistry and few basics with organic chemistry. Can you tell some of the key points for them to take home for the GPAT preparation?
Yes, yes, definitely. That's a good one. I myself, I was facing doubt in heterocyclic chemistry when I was studying that part. But then what I did was, most of us, we don't remember those structures, the moieties. For instance, we know the structure of benzene because we are used to that for from a long time. From 11th and 12th, we are studying that part, right? We are
Yes.
studying benzene from 11th and 12th. That is the reason why we have that structure in the back of our mind. So the whole point of giving this example is that what happens is, if you are like playing with those structures every now and then, if you're sleeping somewhere, if you're staying in a hostel and if you're sleeping, so just beside your bed you must keep certain things. You must have some sticky notes, so that every day you must look at those structures. So if you come in contact with those structures directly every day, then believe me, what is going to happen is you are going to remember those structures. If you remember the heterocyclic structures, every structures, then medicinal chemistry is an easy go for you all. So that's one thing. And other thing is that, if you are like, what I have seen is that most of the students, they get afraid. If they are afraid of any subject, they tend to leave that subject for a longer unattempted. They just don't go back home and study that subject. So that keeps on increasing. The pile is going to go up. Every day, the teacher is going to teach them newer concept. For instance, I used to hate cognosy, ma'am. To be honest, I used to hate cognosy because cognosy as a subject was pretty much good. The practicals were amazing. I used to enjoy practicals of cognosy. But the theoretical part, I used to hate that part because there are many things that we have to remember. We as a student have to remember in cognosy. Though it be the biological sources, synonym, their structures, their microscopical characteristics, their chemical taste. We have seen the classification of alkaloids in the presentation, right?
Mm,
So I
yes.
used to find that difficult. So what happened with me is that I just took cognosy few days before the examination. And believe me, I was so depressed back then that I thought that how should I clear this cognoscip? That was the time I used YouTube for the first time. So I just went to YouTube and I got some tricks to remember these things. So there were certain mnemonic that helped me remember this thing. So look, guys, there's always an option. If you're finding anything difficult, if you're finding anything difficult, you can simply go to YouTube. You can search for mnemonics. You can search for any tricks. But just leaving it unattempted is going to like decrease your chances of getting into a good college. So just don't keep it unattempted. Just keep on solving that subject. Yeah, any other question? Yes, Aditya, I just saw your question. You want to give some government examination, right? Are you aware about AFMC, Armed Forces Medical College? It's in Pune, AFMC. And one more thing, guys, there's a website called as Pharma Tutor. Pharma Tutor. It's a website. You can just go and just subscribe that website, because every day they are like posting certain things on that website. If though there are job opportunities in the field, if you're like there are they list every openings on that website, so you just don't forget to go and check that website every day. You can get a mail. You can also, they are also having their Telegram channel. Pharma Tutor is the website, so that can make you aware of all the examinations that are falling under government category. And one more thing, there's one more new field you can think of. We all know that there are clinical trials happening in the country, right? There are various clinical trials that are happening post-COVID in the country. So the clinical trial team, they required a pharmacist. They require a pharmacist in their team. So we can simply like get registered and be a part of that team as well. There's tremendous amount of learning that can take place if you're in that team. So clinical trials are happening in the country, throughout the country. You can just enroll yourself, and if you're selected, you're good enough there. Just don't forget to check that.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
sir, is it audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
You're audible.
actually, many of your slides, due to the technical glitch, we are unable to follow that. If is that possible to share your slides only?
Slides. Which
Is
was
it,
the part that you missed out?
because it was very beautifully compiled, sir. It is having a lot of information. Of course, I can show to the students. Like we have regular GPAT classes, and many of the slides we are unable to follow because you grab something, and many things are very good actually. This especially the number of the maximum score for the year and this cutoff marks, that kind of informations. Initial stage of the slides.
Sir, I can request the team, or else if your college allows me, I can personally come there and talk to the students. That will be a more effective way to communicate with the students. We can also plan
Yeah,
certain
that can be.
offline sessions.
That's great, sir. Then that's good. That sounds good. We'll plan for it. Maybe I'll talk to the higher officials. Then we'll plan for it.
Because giving the sessions in offline manner will be much more effective than going through this pattern. Because many a time today I failed
Yes,
three
yes.
times, my
I agree.
system lagged, and that was the like this happened for the first time. I don't know why it happened, but yes, this happened. So I was not able to grasp and hold all the students together. We had a good amount of
Yes,
students
yes,
today,
yes.
so that's the reason. Yes, sir. Any more questions?
Any other questions?
So we'll definitely plan an
Okay, I
offline
think
session
now.
in our college. So that will be pretty much helpful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely, sir.
Because
Ma'am, we'll
what
close the session, ma'am.
yes, sir.
Yeah. You are telling something, no, sir? Tell me, sir. Tell,
Yes, sir.
sir.
I was telling that if we are having an offline session, what will be happening is that I can see the students, they can ask me question, I can be a part of them. Because what we believe, we as a team at PHARMAELITE, we believe that if I have recently given the examination, I know every possible cases that can like occur in the examination hall. For instance, I'd like to share this. One of my friends, he forgot to hit the submit button. He was like amongst the toppers from our batch. He forgot to hit the submit button, and the time like was up. Generally, they say that auto submission takes place, right? While giving the GPAT examination, auto submissions it takes place. But for his case, I don't know what happened, what might have happened. He was like he attempted somewhere near 100 questions, and his score was not so satisfying. But yes, he somehow managed to qualify on the edge. So these problems can occur in the examination hall, and I wanted to talk to this like the current batch. I guess final year students, they are appearing for the examination in a month or so, right? Less than a month. So they must be aware of about these worst case scenarios that can happen in the examination hall.
Okay. Ma'am, can we close the session, ma'am? I think no
Yeah.
more questions.
Yeah, we can close the session, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Sir, you can continue with the vote of thanks.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. We'll close the session now. If any question is there, then the sir has shared his email ID. You can write to him, or else you please share to me, share to us, madam. Then we'll ask the information.
Sir, I
We'll
guess
get the
there's
information.
someone in the question. Aditya has one question. I'd like to answer that.
Yeah. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Aditya. Yep. So he's asking me about my future goal. Look, I am into marketing. I think that like I can't do some research. Like there are various sectors in our country. If we in our program, if we choose ecology, you have to do certain research oriented things, right? So I had ecology was one of my favorite subject, obviously. But then I realized that I can't do research for whole of my life, right? Throughout my life, I can't do research. Then I thought that I should like take up MBA as a course, MBA in pharma market. I want to do MBA in pharmaceuticals. Like our industry is different from other industries, guys. What happens is that we are having MR. Other sectors, they are having customers as their potential primary target. But in our industry, there's this practice that we have to first convince if you're launching a drug, you have to convince the doctor, you have to convince the physicians first. Then the physicians is going to prescribe that medicine. Then we have to convince the pharmacist, and ultimately at the third step we have the customer, right? So like I want to bring some innovativeness to this practice in our country, and that is the reason I am going to do a MBA in pharmaceutical related courses. Any courses related to pharmacy, I have to do MBA related to that. And then I want to start my own business venture because I want to be an entrepreneur, to be honest, guys. That's it. And this is the reason why I love talking to all the students from all over the countries. I have been delivering seminars throughout the country as of now, and I have met everyone. I have delivered offline sessions. So it's actually very good. I feel really blessed to like talk to you guys and share my experience with you. Yes. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
We'll close the session now. On behalf of the organization committee and SRIHER, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to you for sharing the valuable insight and knowledge with us. Your expertise and experience have undoubtedly enriched our understanding of the exams and how to prepare for it. And your comprehensive and insightful presentation was enlightening us, and I'm confident that all the attendees have gained useful insight and tips on how to crack the GPT and other competitive exams. Your efforts and dedication in sharing your knowledge with us are truly commendable. Your guidance and expertise have provided a wealth of information that will undoubtedly prove beneficial to all those who attend this webinar. We appreciate your time and effort in preparing for this session and presenting it on as such an engaging manner. And once again, thank you for the contribution to this webinar and for sharing your knowledge with us. Your participation has made this event as a resounding success, and we look forward to having a good speak at your future events. Especially you asked, as you said, that offline event. Finally, I like to express my sincere gratitude to all of you and attend webinars. Your attitude, participations, and interest in this competitive exams are much appreciated. Good luck for your preparations. Keep update your success at competitive exams with us in the near future.
Yes, thank you very much,
Thanks,
guys.
sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah, let's meet on the other side. I hope to see you guys soon on offline bench, and we can just
Yeah,
have
we'll
more.
try to do the offline session, sir. We'll talk to the higher officials and we'll try to make it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, at
In
this
that
minute, I
way, we
want
can
to
have a
thank.
more fruitful sessions
Okay,
for
so
each
I
other.
want to thank two new souls like
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Akash Vishwakarma and Harsh Rao, who were the coordinators in PHARMAELITE event, and also the team of the faculty of Sri Ramachandra Faculty of Pharmacy and the GPAT coordinators for their all-time involvement in conducting mock test and other event. And there can be no event without our principal. So we wish to even put a note regarding him here. He was the sailor of the ship, and he makes all the students to get themselves involved in the GPAT exam. So special thanks to the coordinators of PharmaElite. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Can we? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you all.
Yes, yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you.